Thank you. Good morning, one and all. Cockerel Doodle Doo. Bloody hell, it's been so long since I said it. Cockerel Doodle Doo. It's your morning Spurs show with Tottenham on tour. Got three great guests with me today. Jack, first of all, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Brian?
All good, brother. All good. Always good to see you, my brother. Then we'll go bottom right, and I can see my brother from the same country I'm in now, the beautiful Canada. Bobby K is back with me. How are you, Bobby, brother?
I'm always well when I see you, Brian. How's everybody doing tonight?
There we go. There we go. And obviously, my partner in crime, who I haven't seen as often as normal, Mr. Johnny. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I thought you said a slight slip of the tongue. Any cockerel do, but yeah.
No, it's not that kind of show.
Wrong show, Johnny. Wrong show.
Wrong.
That's us on Saturday night, okay?
Brian's set up an OnlyFans site now. Since he's gone back to Canada to supplement, but back in the game.
I told you that in private, Johnny. I told you that in private.
It's good to be back talking football. It's been a long break.
It has.
We're back.
It has. And Johnny, all I will say is that thankfully you've said everyone it's Monday today, which means it's a week till Angeball returns, which means it's only 8 days until Anja management returns, and hopefully it will be after another win. And we're going to have a big conversation now about something. I did a show today with Ben on We Are Tottenham TV. I'm being Simeon for the next few days because Simeon is on this side of the pond. He's in Los Angeles, so he can't make the shows because of the time difference. So I've stepped in to it's a real hard punishment. Go to LA for a week. Yeah, it's such a big punishment. So he's over there. So I'm taking the hot seat with Ben for the next few days. And we did a segment analysing where we are right now, top of the league, sitting pretty. And we hate all these international breaks. And unfortunately, 4 games away from another one. But what we're going to look at, we spoke about it briefly. I'll give you what I thought. And we're going to have a discussion of each of you where you think we're going to be. I said in the next 4 games, which is obviously Fulham at home, Palace away, the big one, Chelsea at home, and then Wolves away. How many points do we think we're going to get? Will we still be undefeated? And where we'll be in the league? I went with 8 points. I went for 2 home wins, 2 away draws, and still undefeated. So we'll go around the table. I'm going to call you up one by one, obviously, and we'll go game by game. So, Jack, I'm going to start with you for the first game. How many points and what do you reckon we're going to do against Fulham?
Win, mate. 100% win.
Okay.
I think Fulham at home, I don't think you can expect anything less than a win. I don't think they've had a good Fulham either this season. I mean, they've lost their best player, Mitrovic. So I would expect to win. And it'd be interesting to see, off the back of the Carabao Cup game,
Bingo.
has that
Revenge.
has that got anything to do with it? But yeah, I think I'll win.
All right, I'm gonna throw a spanner in the work of that one once I've gone round, and I'm sure Johnny's going to bring up my spanner in the work, though. Johnny, Bobby, what are you thinking, Fulham?
I think, like Jack already said, we're at home. It should be an easy 3 points there. We're going to be playing our A squad against them now, not a mixed up B team that had no chemistry when they played against them last time. And in reality, what did they get? That was the Van de Ven own goal, wasn't it? Their first goal. So it's not like they really scored against us. So like you said, missing their key player and Mitrovic, their biggest attacking threat, while our defense is looking sound. So I don't even see them getting a goal against us. I think we should be able to easily put them away 2 or 3-0. And I think they're going to see the full strength of the Rio Tottenham squad instead of the secondary one that they were lucky enough to face in the Carabao Cup. And I think they're going to be hit with a different reality when they face this team. And just got us going. We're pumped up as fans. The squad is pumped up, and they look like they want to play for each other. There's some passion out there finally, which we've missed for a few years, and it's just great to see. And let's keep that train going, buddy. Choo-choo and run all over them.
There we go. So that's 3 from Jack, 3 from Bobby. It's 3 from me. Johnny, full house?
Listen, I think my favourite DM from the whole of last season is playing Paulinho. Right, and
I thought you meant direct message on Twitter. I was like, what? I thought you talked about your favourite DM on Twitter.
No,
I was like, okay, Paulinho,
I mean, he was head and shoulders above anyone else by a country mile last season in interceptions, tackles, and he really held Fulham together in that last game. And he is a top player, and we really needed Basuma.
There you go. You've just chucked my spanner in the works. There you go. I knew you would.
Without Basuma, Paulinho, I said, when I was at the Luton game, this is a huge loss for us. They've also got a really good Brazilian who I really like, Muniz, who is a real threat. He likes to carry the ball and run at defenders. I just think, how we tackle this. No pun intended. Do we put Sarr in and push Højbjerg as a more a forward player and put him as the 6, Sarr as the 6? I think it's going to be a much more difficult game than everyone thinks. I think it would have been a difficult game even with Basuma. They gave Arsenal a really good game at the Emirates and were unlucky not to come away with something. And Paulinho is such a fantastic talent. I mean, I hope he has a crap game. I think this is going to be a real test for us. I really do. I hope we have the 3 points, obviously, like everyone else.
But what are you predicting? If you say what you're saying, a draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boot him.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Okay. No. Listen,
Good to see you, Johnny.
I mean, no. I'll tell you honestly. Me and Ben, where I said 8, Ben.
I want to win. Listen, Bobby. Let's just put it. Right. Okay. I want to win. 100%. I want to win, and I would like to say 100% we're going to win it. What I'm saying to you is, without Basuma in that middle of the park, right? I just feel that Paulinho. I don't believe that Højbjerg has got the legs on him. I believe that Sarr has got the legs on him. Has he got the experience on him? He's had a good few games now. I think Sarr can get at him, but it all depends where we deploy Højbjerg, to be honest with you.
Do you not think our attacking threat is good enough to...
Oh, no, I do. I do. But I like Calvin Bassey. I was always a fan of him when he was at Rangers. I was surprised that he went to Ajax, and because I didn't feel that their football really suited him. But he's a really good attacking side. So that, that's going to be an interesting battle. Tim Ream is playing really well as well at the moment. Got a decent keeper in Leno. I'm not trying to...
William has a good game against us.
Yeah, listen, I'm not trying to look for stuff, but I think they're a better team than...
So Johnny, this is what I want to say as well, because when I did it with Ben said we're going to get 10 points. He thinks the only place we're going to drop points is Crystal Palace, where he thinks we'll sneak up, we'll get onto balls when we get there. But that's the thing. Saying a drop, because we've started so well. If we get a draw, everyone thinks we should get a win against Fulham, or we would hope we get a win against Fulham. As long as we don't lose and keep this run going, obviously we want the win. But we can say, well, this is the thing. A lot of Spurs fans now, if you say, well, I think we're going to get a draw, they look at you like you've just said we're going to get a defeat. It's like, what are you
I'm just trying to be honest.
This is the thing. It's like I said. I mean, I'm going to come to Jack and Bobby because you mentioned it and you spoke about it. Bobby, with how big of a, and I'll come to you afterwards, Jack. Basuma, how big a miss is Basuma to you, Bobby? And who would your midfield? Who would your midfield three be for Fulham? Because we obviously know Basuma is definitely not playing.
Well, for me, it's a straight swap with Højbjerg coming in for Basuma. I think keep Madison and Sarr where they are. Sarr's done really well. I think his passing is just a little bit off. I think if he tweaks that, we're going to have a phenomenal player there as well. I'd like to see him stick with where he is instead of shifting positions and then having a poor game. At the end of the day, Basuma really for the last 2 years hasn't accomplished anything for us. So it's this year that he's been phenomenal. And I think because he's had that wonderful 8 games with us, even though he's made some silly tackles and got some dumb red cards, well, a dumb red card, I think that Højbjerg has enough in him to get the job done, which he has in a poor Conte and a poor Mourinho system as a holding midfielder. He did what he was asked to, and he helped solidify in front of the back line. Our back line is significantly better, so I don't see them conceding, and I think we will have enough to be able to attack Fulham. I know their center backs, like Johnny already mentioned, Ream is back there. I think if we have enough to attack them and go through them. I think leave Sarr and Madison up there to support the runs through the middle of the field and stretch them wide if we have to. With we got Perisic definitely still out. Solomon's definitely still out. Says Johnson might be back for this game, correct?
Hopefully. I haven't heard anything.
Okay, Hill is apparently back for this one, from my understanding. So we've got at least one more attacking threat coming back. I know everybody's ragging on Kulusevski because he's so predictable, but it's that predictability in his hold-up play that's allowing everybody else to kind of join the attack.
Correct.
I honestly think we just have that. I think right now we have more than enough to get it done. In the past, the problem has been that on paper it's always looked good for us, but for some reason the passion hasn't been there from players. We sit there and we look how we lost against this team. It's not a lack of ability. It's just lack of caring, lack of passion out there on the pitch, and that's all changed. And it Ange, just fresh breath of fresh air.
But let's be honest, Bobby.
Swept through, right?
I was going to say, Bobby, let's be honest here, right? I mean, let's not dress it up, okay? We haven't played well in the last 3 games, okay? That's my opinion, okay?
But we've got through. We lose those games before.
No, but we've battled through, and the heart and the drive is what's been the difference. What I'm saying is there has not been the fluid football that we saw at the beginning, right? Okay? No one's going to tell me we played well against Liverpool, right? No one's going to tell me we played well against Luton. And we didn't play well against Luton.
We didn't play well against Sheffield. We didn't play well against Brentford, really. So we've had 4 games.
Brentford, I thought. Do you know what? I think Brentford
unlucky deflection and a penalty.
Yeah, right? But I just think, the last 3 games we haven't been fluid, but it's a mark of a good team that isn't playing well and still raising.
That's what I was just about to counter it.
Yeah. With that, I hear you. I just feel.
But I think these guys are willing to leave it out there for this manager, whereas 100%. They've kind of they lost that over the last little bit. You know what I mean? Okay. It's like everybody going on about the Romero thing. How much better he is and how he was poor the last 2 seasons. We all know that he hated playing for Conte, that he made it clear that he was going to leave if this guy stuck around. So that's why in Ange I trust, Johnny. I've got that blind deluded faith. You know me, man. You know me. I'm the deluded one. So
before we get away from
doubles on.
Before we get away, because now we mentioned Jack, Basuma for you, and who would you play?
I just want to say quickly to Johnny's point. It's this is what happens to title challengers. They play bad, but they still win.
Right.
And that's why we're title challengers.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to the end of these points.
I agree with Bobby. I think you've got to play Højbjerg in this game.
You have to.
Yeah.
I don't want the chicken chaser, man. You cannot have the chicken chaser.
Højbjerg, Madison, Star for me. But I think on a Monday night, I think our fans will be up for it.
We
have to win. I think we have to win.
All right, so that's Fulham done. So we've gone win for Jack, win for me, win for Bobby,
3-1. 3-1 to be exact.
draw for Johnny. Okay, next one, and I'm going to start with you, Bobby. Palace away. And now I'm going to tell you, I went for a draw. We may have won 4-0 last year,
Yeah.
but Palace is one of those games that I'm away. Palace away, sorry, are one of those places and one of those games.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, we got to remember what we got to chuck in with this as well, because it's not just as easy as saying, "Oh, Palace, we're better than Palace." I don't know any other team, and this is another subject we won't touch right now. I've never known a team to be the Monday night football in the last game, and then 4 days later be the first game on a Friday.
I was going to wait for you to say that because they screwed us over again. Right?
Exactly. So, you've got to chuck that into the equation as well. And what you also got to chuck into the equation is Basuma will be back for Palace, but Basuma is now on a tightrope not to pick up a yellow card for the next games because we desperately need him for Chelsea. Desperately need him for Chelsea. But with that all in the mix, Bobby, with the Monday then Friday night, Basuma back, playing under the lights on a Friday. This is our first Friday night. I think we played West Ham a few years ago on a Friday night, but I mean, for a long, long time, this will be like the first Friday, 4 days after the Fulham game. Thankfully, both games in London. What are you thinking with Palace away?
I think Palace this year, they haven't conceded too many goals, but they're not scoring goals either right now. And from my understanding, Edouard and Eze are still out. So those are two big attacking threats. That Elise, is that how you say it?
Yep.
He's out too, is he not?
I think he's back.
Is he back? Okay, so one out of the three attacking threats is back. I think we have enough for this. I think, honestly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, our hesitation in saying that we're going to go in there and win this game is simply because of the past. You know, we traditional Tottenham have an issue of Spursing it up. We're grinding out results right now. We're grinding out the results against teams that we should be beating and ones that we weren't expected to beat. So I'm going to stay on the positive train with this one. And I honestly think we're going to go in there and get a result. I think we could take Crystal Palace 2-0. I don't think that they're going to be able to score. That's my thing. I just don't think they have any firepower. That's why I'm going to give it to our boys with this one.
All right, Johnny.
I'll go 2-0 with that one.
Listen, I find it amazing that we're playing the least amount of games at any team in all 5 divisions. And yet, as usual, I'm going to say something that Conte said. This club never, ever complains and moans about the fixtures and what has been allotted, right? When you're playing on Monday, you complain and you say, hang on a minute, no, we're not playing on the bloody Friday, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, why are we being picked on Friday? You can't pick us on the Monday night football and the Friday night football and sacrifice us just for the sake of TV.
The schedule.
Swap them round and we'll play on the Saturday or the Sunday, right? But we ain't.
Johnny, I will add to that very quickly before you go on about the result. I actually think a lot of this has got to do with the way we've started playing football under Angeball.
It doesn't matter.
I know. No, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying this. I'm saying I think Sky now and the other TV channels. Whereas last season it was like, oh my God, Tottenham is going to be so boring to watch, and oh my God, the fans even at the game are bored, let alone the people watching. Whereas now everyone is talking, oh, Angie's playing great football, everything's great football. Oh, Angie, I think it's had a huge factor in it.
Yeah, but my point here is what Conte said, right?
I agree with you.
I don't agree with much he said, but we should be the club that's moaning, like
Johnny, I completely agree
that he didn't want Saka to be in the England squad. You know, getting away with murder. You know, getting every advantage you have. Right? We shouldn't be playing Monday and Friday. It's as simple as that. I don't know when Crystal Palace play. Probably Friday night or Sunday or Saturday. Probably. And
let me have a quick look. Whilst you're talking, but what you
Crystal Palace are playing on the Saturday. They play Newcastle.
So 2 extra days. Yeah, 2 extra days, and it might seem like a lot, but
they're away to Newcastle.
Yeah,
but you got to look at it the other way, John. Before we talk about the game, they've got an extra 2 days there to recover for us, but we've got an extra 2 days compared to everyone else with all their players coming back from international duty. So on that kind of thing, balance itself out. There should never be a Monday Friday.
I'm not. Listen, with the greatest respect, I couldn't give 2 hoots about Hong Kong versus Vietnam and and some of these other fixtures, right? Meaningless fixtures to me. This season is worse than the World Cup season. At least we had a whole pile of games to feast on. Now there's a break here and a break there,
Yep.
and then another 4 games and we're breaking. So anyway, listen, going to Palace, right? Gahey and Anderson are top defenders, right? Tompkins is good. James Ward, I mean, he's getting on a bit now. Their defence is their best attribute at the moment. Eze, who should be at our club, is injured.
Yep.
Edouard is injured. Elise is touch and go. But the player who everyone should be really looking out for, I think he might be starting this weekend against Newcastle, is Matias Franca, the Brazilian. I've been watching him for a while now. Palace paid a lot of money for him, about 25 million for him. He was offered to us. We didn't take up the option because we weren't looking for that type of player then. We are now. But he's a top talent. He's going to take a while, but watch him. We should win this one. I think, this is going to be about breaking down their defence. We have struggled to break down defences, and this could be another one. We need an early goal, but I reckon we will win this one.
Okay, Jack, what's your thoughts? Palace away.
1-1.
You're going to draw like me.
Yeah,
What makes you think a draw? What makes you think the draw?
I think on a Friday night, it's never going to be easy. Like you said before, Palace is one of those games. Well, actually, we've got a really good record there. But Palace away is never guaranteed.
Good support.
Yeah, good support. They'll be up for it as well. I mean, they look very good this season. I watched them against who was it? Was it United? They won. Did they play United and win?
Yes.
Yes, they did at Old Trafford. Yeah.
They were unlucky against Arsenal as well. I
think they're very good defensively.
Yeah.
And our problem is we're not actually that good going forward, in my opinion. I think we're missing that firepower going forward. So I think with Richie up front, I think it'll be a struggle. They'll probably love it. And I think it'll be a 1-1.
I mean, listen, we don't know by then. Brennan Johnson could be back, and if he is back, he goes straight.
Have we signed Brennan Johnson or Brenda Johnson?
Brennan.
Right, okay.
So as we look at it right now, me and Jack and Johnny are on 4 points, and surprise, Bobby K is on 6 points. Now, Johnny, I'm going to come to you next. We move, and also, guys, in the comments, and it's being premiered, it's pre-recorded. So, I hope you're having a great chat in the comment section, and leave your comments after for me to respond to. So, the next one, obviously, is the powder keg, and I said it on We Are Tottenham TV. Every single year, I think the most looked forward to game every year is the North London derby, both home and away. But I think the hottest home ticket this season, and just for this season, because of all the powder keg of everything coming together and Poch's return, I think this is the hottest ticket for Spurs this season. Like that game, the atmosphere is going to be off the chart. I mean, it's been great at home this season from what I've seen. What are we thinking for the Chelsea game? And Johnny, we're going to you first.
Sorry, Jack's just. I was getting distracted by the nude above his head. Just like he's put the camera down now.
Boo!
Boo! I think. There's some guy coming back to the club. Can't forget his name now. That could be an issue. It could be a bit fiery. Listen, I think Chelsea have turned the corner now.
Typical, just in time, eh? Just in time.
Yeah, they've definitely turned the corner. Defensively, they are really looking good. I think they're going to be hard to break down. This is going to be an emotional game. I think it's going to be a draw. I think the problem for us is, unfortunately, just as they've been absolutely crap defensively, the last 3 games, they've really turned up. And they're really looking good. And the what's his name has been Giusto. who's been a real threat going forward, who was sent off.
Gusto.
He's back. Gusto, yeah. He's back as well. So he's going to attack. So I think it's going to be the battle of the flanks, to be honest with you, because we've got Doji likes to get forward. We got Porro that likes to get forward, and both of their wing backs or wingers or right backs, left backs, whatever you want to call them, inverted, like to get forward. So I think it's going to be a real ding dong game. It could be one hell of a game. I just feel that I just feel like a Desmond for this one.
All right, so you're going draw. Okay. Jack, what are you thinking, Chelsea?
2-0 win.
All right, so
Jack's
very confident. He's giving his score prediction at the same time. Not just the result, he's giving
three
the score
tips.
prediction.
I'm giving 3 tips, Brian.
There we go. So you think a convincing win?
I think we'll win. I do agree with Johnny, though. I think they have turned the corner, and it's typical when we play them just as they as they actually become good. But I think, as Johnny also mentioned, the atmosphere will be well up for it. I think that will get us over the line. Basuma will hopefully, will be playing.
So I
was going to ask you, Jack. Sorry, just to interrupt there. I meant to say that I just got sidetracked there. Do you see? I'm thinking you don't change the team from Fulham, and what you do is you put Basuma on the bench, and you only bring him on if you feel like you're not winning the game, and make sure he's there for that Chelsea game.
You mean at Palace? Keep him on the bench at Palace?
Yeah, I think
I'd
rather draw against Palace than win against Chelsea, personally, than win against Palace.
No, I'm talking about him from the point of view of if he gets a booking at Palace, he misses.
Then I would rest him. I'd rest him as well. And I think, to be honest with you, Højbjerg probably would be better suited for Palace. Just that calmness and that that less erraticness, be able to control the game. But look, I'm excited for Chelsea. It'll be a great game. But I think we'll win. I think the atmosphere will take us over the line. Son typically, does play well against Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
But I don't get this hateful Poch, Johnny. I don't get it, unfortunately. So I won't be booing him when he comes.
No, listen, I'm not going to boo him. It's
I know, but a lot of people will.
Upstairs. Listen, you can't go when the whole stadium's singing, Pochettino, and then start booing him, right? It's not his fault.
And he's done a lot for us.
I have to say, I refused to sing that when I was at the Brighton game and it all last season. I refused.
I didn't sing it either. I refused
to sing it. Right, here we go. And I left Bobby for last because I think I know what Bobby's going to say. Bobby.
6-0.
6-0. 6-0.
Now, like the boys have already said, they've kind of turned the corner. They're scoring goals now. They're looking like the Chelsea we expected them to be. Let's face it, Poch is a good manager. He's going to get them playing attacking football. Just something was obviously not working. It seems like a few things are starting to work. Let's hope it stays at a very minimum by the time they get to us. I think this result's actually going to really depend on how they do against Arsenal the coming weekend. Again, we're there. We get the extra day's rest over them because they're playing. We play on the Friday. They'll play on the Saturday. So we get that extra day in our favor kind of thing.
Are they playing? Sorry, Bobby, they're playing.
We're playing on a Monday.
We play Monday.
Monday.
And we play. We're playing them on a Monday. Yeah, but the week before they're playing Saturday, and we play Friday, Crystal Palace, right?
Every day.
So we're going to be off from Friday all the way to that following Monday, then, right? So we're going to get a nice extended break there as well, which will help with the guys that are recovering and hopefully coming back. And Brendan Johnson should be 100% fit for that one. Even though I think that they're still going to come out and fire, and their defense just looks disjointed. I don't know what's going on with the goalkeeping issue over there. I don't even know who the hell their goalie is anymore.
Sanchez from Brighton.
I don't even think he's that good either.
I was going to say, like, they've been conceding quite a few number of goals.
Not the last
teams
3
they've
games,
lost against. But the teams they've lost again, I think they're still fragile. I think they are going to be okay. I think they'll still be fragile enough for us to be able to take them. Traditionally, I would give this game a draw at best. Let's face it, we don't do well in this one. But come on, that hamstring, baby. Choo-choo! 3-1. We're running these bitches over and sending them back to the other side of London. Bye-bye.
Okay, so far, Jack and I are neck and neck. We're on 3 against Fulham. So we're on 8 points. No, 7 points. We're on 7 points.
You guys are 7.
You're on 9. Johnny's on 5.
You might as well give Bobby the last game.
Yeah, Johnny's on 5. And
Can I
Bobby
just
on
say?
Can you
Can I
guess,
just
Jack?
say?
Can you guess?
All I was going to say, all these games are on Monday. And talking of Monday, has anyone seen him? Because I haven't. Has anyone seen him?
Seen who?
It's Monday, right? Monday. It's Monday today. It's Monday next week, and it's Monday the week after, right? But no one has seen Mun. Has anyone seen him? Our director of football. It's Monday, right? Where is he?
That is a pure. Do you know what? That is a joke that only I could see you coming up with. But now we're going to complete this.
It's just another manic Monday, yeah.
Well, hopefully they're great. God, I just realised there's to be a lot of Tuesday anger managements. Okay, so okay, fair play. Okay, so to complete the set, and this is the one that I'm actually most terrified about. I went for a draw because Wolves away seems to be one of those grounds where we do struggle. All right, I must say, for the first time in recent history, we haven't got to worry about the motor car in Adama Traore absolutely tearing us to pieces. But Wolves away is always a game we seem to make very, very hard work of. The last time I remember us actually winning, Bobby, you and me were at the Scotland Yard with my man Jan Tongan, scored that last minute header and gave it old Super Jan.
We won there the season before, Brian. Delhi scored a penalty.
Okay, so that's another one. But last year it was 1-0. We lost.
Yeah, and then the year before that we won.
Fair play. But it's one of those grounds where I've gone for a draw. Which means we're still undefeated going into next international break.
You take that
Jack,
anyway.
where are you going?
I think because it's a 12:30, I'd probably have to agree with you. Probably as a 0-0 or 1-1.
Sorry, but 12:30 again. What? I mean,
12:30
on the Saturday morning. Yeah, first game on the Saturday.
7:30 at the Scotland Yard.
Yeah, for you two, it'll be unfortunate. Also for me, probably having to wake up at 7 o'clock to get there. But I think we do tend to play well at Wolves. It always does, like you kind of touched on. We make it as difficult as possible for ourselves there, but we do normally win. But I think, just like Chelsea as well, but we're playing Wolves at a good time. They've just beaten obviously City.
Correct.
But I think
should have beaten United. Should have beaten United.
Yeah, I think it'll be a 1-1. But I think you would take undefeated before.
Jack, you need to go put a bet on all those scores you put in, just those, and if they come in, then you start your own tipping business. So you've gone for a draw.
Yeah, I think it'll be a draw. It'll be an interesting game. They're playing well, Wolves, at the moment. I think they're very unlucky team. They've sold most of their star players, obviously for FFP.
Yep.
But I think because it's an early kick-off, I think it'll be a 1-1.
All right, I'm going to come to Bobby K. Bobby K, what do you reckon in this game against Wolves?
You know what? Like the boys already said, it's the first game on the Saturday. It's the early game. We're in Watford. It's got draw written all over it, doesn't it? In terms of the way everything is working, but do bloody chew, baby. We're going through there. We're gonna smack those wolves around and everything, and let them know that a cockerel is stronger than a wolf. If possible, at least for a day.
So I don't. Just so you're going.
I don't think we're. I think it's going to be a 1-0 kind of boring, fought out, very very slow paced kind of, like a Sheffield kind of low block nonsense. But I think we can grind out a result getting in there, man. I just that blind faith is in me. I believe.
Mate, big time. I mean, what I will say before Johnny comes to you, what you got to remember, you said the first game 12:30 again, which used to be a problem for us. We've had 2 12:30s this season. We've won them both. Haven't conceded. Johnny, is it going to be a hat trick?
I'm just fed up with Sky. Like someone at Tottenham Hotspur, wake up, Donna Cullen, whoever you are up in the thing, right? Open your mouth and say, we are being dictated to by TV. We're being thrown around, given the worst fixtures for anyone. Open up and speak, right? Okay?
Can't you behave, Johnny? Can't you behave?
Pretend you're Man United. Pretend you're Arsenal. Pretend you're Liverpool. Bitch, scream and complain and get changed, right? Because that's what happens. That's what the big teams do, right? They know how to complain. Listen, look, Gary O'Neill, what can you say about him, right? I really admire him. I actually know his agent, right? And I remember him talking about him, I don't know, about a year or so before he got the Bournemouth job. And I completely forgot. It was only when he got the Bournemouth job that I recognised who he was talking about. What a job he did there after Parker got the sack and said this club's unmanageable, right? And they got beaten, was it 7-0 or 8-0? 9-0. And he's gone in there, and what miracle he performed with that club. And he gets the sack. And then he goes to Wolves, who sell half of their squad, and he's expected to do nothing. And tactically, he's been fantastic. I mean, if it hadn't been for a blind VAR and a referee when Onana took out 2 of their players, that would have definitely been a late winner for them. And the way he tactically did Pep the other week was absolutely superb. And I think we have enough to do them. Pedro Neto would be the one that I'd be most worried about. Him. He's just a superb player. I mean, love him as well. I loved him before he got injured. Unfortunately, I wasn't sure whether after such a serious injury he could come back and be half the player he was. He is. He still is that player. But I just think tactically, Gary O'Neill, he would have studied Angie's tactics. Is he going to come up with something to counter Angeball? If there is a manager that's out there that would have been working on it by now, it would be him. But I'm with Bobby. I'm going to sneak through, and this is going to be a 1-0 victory.
Okay, so let's have a look at it. I went for 8 points. I think Jack matched me with 8 points. Johnny, you've matched me with 8 points. And Bobby has got us being invincible and not dropping a single point for the rest of the season. We're champions. So the way up, we looked at the other teams as well. We're not going to go through the other teams, but if we do what Bobby says, then obviously we're completely top of the league. No one's catching us into the next international break. 28 points going into the end, or the next international break, 32. Or the 12 that Bobby K's saying. 32. Undefeated, top of the league, maybe second if someone gets maximum points out of the other top 4. Should these predictions come true, whether it's the 8, the 12, the 10 that Ben from We Are Tottenham TV said, Johnny, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think that means going into, like, psychologically? It's brilliant for the players. Brilliant for the players, brilliant for the manager, brilliant for the fans. That happens. What do you think's going on behind closed doors at Tottenham Hotspur with where we are and what we do?
Listen, we're going. If we got 28 points, we're going so fast down that track, right? There ain't no stopping us. But when the wheel comes off, right, it's going to be quite a big crash. Look, the thing is, we are fragile, guys. Let's we're talking up the game here, but we all know if we lose Mickey van der Ven, or we lose Romero, or we lose Maddison, all bets are off. Okay, let's be serious, right? We're fragile. We can't afford, we're being forced out into that pitch. We're like the quarterback who needs pass protection, right? We need protection for all these players. Yep. We do not have a squad depth at this moment. With Gio comes back, and if Bentancur can get back into the game by December, and Brenda can get some game time in, then maybe we'll have some. But at the back, I'm sorry, we're only one injury away from the pointy man and the Welshman. So we got to pray for no injuries. And then listen, when we get to January, we all know, if we were playing Fulham tomorrow on Monday and we had no Basuma, no Sarr, and no Son, we'd be reevaluating that
Completely.
this game. You know, we play Man United when those three are gone. I think we just take it as it is. We enjoy the ride. I'm not looking too far ahead. You know, I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed more games in the first 8 games of this season than I have done, apart from the Arsenal game, apart from that Arsenal game at home. This is the most fun I've had in 4 years, right? And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. And that's it in a nutshell. And if the wheels come off, even against Fulham, even if we get beat against Fulham, right? Okay, I'm going into the next game still happy with how things are going in the season.
Yep. You're spot on, Johnny. And Bobby, same question to you. With you, obviously, with our 12 points, and we're sailing through the league and taking and just storming it.
Invincibles.
Should we go there with your 12 points?
And Invincibles.
Should we go there with your 12 points?
Yep.
Internet
I don't know why you guys are being so negative at 28. You know, it's 32 points. It's kind of obvious. It's rare. Like Johnny already said, though, you know, we are thin. We are a handful of injuries away from being very mediocre very quickly. And that's just a sad reality. We've seen already that the B squad doesn't have what it takes to get the results. We saw the way they played against Fulham. We haven't seen anybody really come in and take a hold of a game. But that being said, even some of the questionable subs that Ange has made have somehow been able to get the results for us. So they're playing for him. Let's just hope, God forbid, if we do get the injuries, that people do step up. It's just that historically in the past, we haven't been able to rely on these players, and there's no reason for us to rely on them now. And I don't think we're wrong as Spurs fans. We're not being negative to say that we don't rely or trust Dyer to come in or Davies to come in and do the job that's being done by the players that are there now. But we have to maintain that faith. I really think the fact that we're kind of only having to worry about the FA Cup in the league is very beneficial to us. My only real concern is if my delusions are correct and we do have that 12 points and we're sitting clear, sitting pretty pumped up, the fans are laughing, we're singing and dancing in the streets, the sun is shining every day. Levy and Lewis and co are going to look at that in January and say, hey, things are great.
What time is it? It's
we
Qatari
don't
time.
need to we don't need to do anything, you know. So we don't need to add, we don't need to spend at a level that we as fans would like to see them spend at. We might end up being I'm hoping they don't do it, but I could see them kind of persuading or trying to force Ange into option B or even C to save a little bit of money.
Bobby,
that's my only concern.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you there, Bobby. So you saying, right, we're going to go back to the Poch time when instead of investing when you're on the brink, you go.
That's my concern, Johnny, because we as fans now, like, and you know, again, correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's a lot of people on the delusional train like myself, and we're satisfied right now. And like you said, 4 years of misery, we're finally happy now.
My doctor,
I will come in here very quickly before I go check and say I can tell you now, categorically, without foul, without any doubt, with absolute assurances, that should we get to January, and should we be in the position, and should we act that way, a certain group that I'm a big part of will have a lot to say, and this time, if it happened and we were up there and we do a Carlos Tevez, Cahill, and come up with a Nelson and Zaha, there will be, let's just say, ramped up categorically without foul. Because this time, if we get there, he has to. And like I've said, and I've said it on many channels, for me, this transfer window, I'm going to come to you with this, Jack, and for your question on where you think what will happen if we get the 8 points you mentioned. For me, this transfer window coming has absolutely nothing to do with the cost of the player, has nothing to do with where the player comes from, whether it be Australia, the Far East, America, Canada, Holland, Italy, England,
Norway.
With the players, wherever it may be, the whole thing about it is the players coming in very, very quickly. With those 3 players going out, none of this, Porro's the man we want. We know this from day one. This is how I'm evaluating Levy this window. Not money spent, not quality of or how good. Do I know this player? How good is he? The speed the players come in if we are on that title surge or at least in a race at the time. But Jack, where do you think, if we get those 8 points that you and I have said and Johnny have said, undefeated, last international break out the way, how do you think the club starts thinking moving forward for the rest of the season, especially January?
I think if you would have, asked anyone that before the end of the start of the season, they would have bit your hand off. So I think we can't complain. Like you touched on before, I think if we can make it to January with no injuries and invest well, why can't we be around that title challenge or even top 3 race kind of situation? But like you said, I think we need to invest well in January. I think, like you said, it's not how much we spend, it's who we buy, and if it's Andrew's first choice, and how quick can we get him in. But I think, if we get 8 points to the next international break, I think a lot of fans would be happy, especially if we can beat Chelsea as well. I think if we beat Chelsea, I think that would make a lot of fans.
Hell yeah.
Well, you look at it, should we beat Chelsea, and this will be the last question, we'll go round in. I'll start with you, Bobby, this time. If we beat Chelsea, that Manchester United at home beaten, Liverpool at home beaten, Arsenal away, not only a point, but a very, very good performance. And let's say, like we're saying, a win against Chelsea. That's 4 of the so-called big 6. And that would be 10 points out of 12. Which is, you look at it, last season, we're not taking 10 from 12, are we, Bobby? That's huge when you look at it.
What did we take from those when you go through those games? What did we take?
Okay, so
3
let's go
points
for
because
it.
we beat City.
Liverpool
Oh no,
at home,
you said City, but it's United.
Liverpool at home lost to 0.
Yeah.
Arsenal at home lost 0.
Chelsea
United
we
at
drew.
home lost 0. Arsenal away lost 0.
So 2 points basically.
Oh no, Chelsea at home.
1 point. With Chelsea we drew.
Chelsea we won. Chelsea we won.
We won, and we drew 2-2, wasn't it?
No, we drew 2-0. We drew 2-0. Well, drew
2-0.
We won 2-0 when on his skip scored that banger, and then Harry Kane scored 1.
He's more with Bobby on his delusion pills than you're on.
He's trying to sound like me, eh, Johnny? I'm rubbing off on him.
It's a bit like that American poll, which was 70% and 41%.
Yeah, So Chelsea 3 points, Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. And Liverpool 0. So if we get 10 points out of those 4,
excuse me,
compared to 3 last season, that's a huge return, isn't it? That's got to be
just a little bit better, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean you can't say. I mean, that Chelsea win is. I forget just the performance and the match of who it is. To say we've played 4 of the big 6 and we've taken 10 points from 12 would be a huge statement, Bobby.
Brian, how great is it that we're even having this conversation? That we're considering the fact that we can take 3 points from Chelsea. We go back 8 games ago, and we're supposed to be mid-table. We're supposed to be at best maybe scoring, if we're lucky, scored 4 goals altogether by now because we don't have any goal scorers. We're supposed to be abysmal. We're supposed to be just the worst team to be watching. And we are the complete opposite of all expectation right now. So I will go against the complete opposite of all expectation right now and say we are going to take Chelsea. And I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful when we do smack them back to the other side of London. I really do. I can't wait to watch all those blue jerseys get covered in tears.
Well, hopefully,
as
Bobby,
it just rains on them.
Hopefully,
that
Bobby,
black cloud follows them back.
Hopefully, it's a Monday. You're at the Scotland Yard with me for that game. I'm hoping you can pull some strings and get there.
Kids have already asked about that. They're like, Dad, can you take us out of school early? Yeah, last time I did that. What happened with your mom? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. Jack, I'll come to you next. Then we're finished with Johnny. If we beat Chelsea and that's 10 points out of 12 from the Big 4, that's got to be not just a huge statement psychologically for the boys. It's got to be massive, hasn't it?
I think you said, last season our record against the top 6 was, awful. So I think it's certainly improvement. And I think, just because it's Chelsea as well, personally, I would rather, I've always said this, but I hate Chelsea more than Arsenal. So to beat Chelsea, would make me really happy. But yeah, I think like you said it before, it's psychological. I think beating those teams will make the players feel a lot better about themselves and the fans as well. Actually start to believe maybe we can actually compete, and why can't we challenge for the title and top 4 this season?
There we go. And Johnny, 10 points. I was almost saying 4 points out of 10. 10 points out of 4 of the big 6. Should we beat Chelsea? How much of a psychological boost do you reckon that brings to the boys?
I just think that people just want to get probably more won over on Pochettino than they do. I think some fans would be happy to win that game and not win any of the others. In some respects, I think it's a big boost. I think it'd be a big boost if Chelsea go on to beat Arsenal, because I think Chelsea are going to give Arsenal a good game, and if Chelsea go on to beat Arsenal, and I'd just like to say, isn't it about time someone stopped that fucking idiot running along that touchline on that pitch, waving his arms around? How is it that he is allowed that every single time a player's running towards the touchline and he's almost on the pitch like this, waving his arms like this? They tried to stop him about a season ago. They look like they've given up, right? I've got videos that I've been posting on my Instagram, right, of him doing it, and it's causing all sorts of conversations. I think if Chelsea beat Arsenal, that would make them really arrive. So if we did then turn them over, I think it would be a huge, huge statement for us. So I'd really like to see Chelsea do Arsenal and then us do Chelsea, and that would be a massive psychological statement for the Premier League and make people stand up and take notice.
And there we go. So that is Cockerel Doodle Doo for today, but we're quickly going to go around the table. Jack, where can people find you, sir? And thank you for being on again, brother.
On Brian's channel, and sometimes Johnny Spaces when he decides to host them. But hopefully more regularly on here now.
Yeah, no, I will be now.
I hope so, Johnny, because it's now, whilst I'm looking for work or I can't work my PR card, I'm on Twitter and I'm like, is there a space on? Is there? Because it's 5 hours behind. So now,
it just didn't seem appropriate at the moment, but we will be coming back.
Good. Bobby K, my brother from this side of the pond, this city, the great city. Where can people find you, my man?
Right there. 3 Spurs Boys on YouTube, and I think that's the right Twitter thingy I've put there, at the 3 Spurs Boys over there on that Twitter thing. If you try to message me on Twitter, don't expect a response anytime soon. I still haven't figured out how to use it. It's only been like a year. We keep it a little bit lighthearted over where we are. The kids get on. I got my 2 boys on there. They'll be doing their weekly recap show. They'll be back tomorrow. And then Saturday night, we do our adult show with Kuv and the Kang, with a little bit of football content and more foolishness and just some laughs.
Thank you very much. And Johnny, partner in crime, where can people find you, brother?
You can find me here on Johnny H3232 to the 300 people that unfollowed me in the last week. See ya. Come back and...
What did you do now?
No, we won't talk about it, right?
Oh, okay.
Listen, guys, come and follow me. And if you go to my Twitter account, you'll follow me on my Insta account, which is growing very, very quick. Lots of content there. And lots of stuff that you can't post on Twitter, but you can still have a laugh with. And hopefully back on the spaces. And of course, with Brian up above, I feel like University Challenge.
Right.
We'll be back on
Tuesday, tomorrow week. When you're watching this, because this is pre-recorded, it will be Tuesday. And instead of waking up to Cockerel Doodle Doo, I'll be waking up at silly o'clock to do anger management at silly o'clock. So listen, guys, please put in your comments what you have thought of the show and where you think we're going to be after the next international or coming international break.
12 points.
Thank you. There you go. All I will say is like, comment, share, subscribe. Haven't done this for so long. And as always, Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs.